Hello, hello. Why does it have that's got the Fortnite font? I need to change that. How's it going, everybody? That's kind of weird. I have it set to WoW. The WoW font's like the closest like potential one. Let me hit default real quick. And then hit X. Does it refresh it? Where's the chat window? Oh, okay. It does not want to refresh it right now. That's fine. This I guess the screen's not really going to be up long anyways. How's everybody doing today? Hopefully everybody's having a good day. We are going to be talking about some amazing things today. We're going to go over Paragon. We're going to go over what I know about Paragon already, which is a decent amount. But I don't want like anybody that already knows like a crap ton about Paragon to think I'm a pro at it, because I'm not. Okay. We're going to go over, or we're going to watch some videos about Paragon. Here, let's switch to the screen maybe. We're going to watch some videos about Paragon that I've pulled up here just to kind of like analyze things a little bit. And then we're going to play around with the Paragon board some too, because I've listened to a few things about the Paragon boards, and I think there's some things that like aren't so clear, and that some of these people that are like pretty good about this kind of stuff, like I think they think about things in a wrong way about some stuff, probably just because of like how things have worked in the past and like with other games that have these types of boards, and like their perception of like the best way to do things basically. Okay, so and we're gonna start and play around with some like fresh boards just to kind of like test my theories a little bit. Maybe we'll do some like building of maybe like I'll pick like a class. I'll poll a class for you guys to tell me to do a theory crafted build on, and we'll take things from there. We'll like mess around a little bit. I don't know how that sounds to you guys, but it sounds pretty fun to me. So let's do it. Tara Ben, what's up, dude? Diablo is here. Almost. We have 8 days to go until Diablo 4 launch, and it's going to be fun. All right, so let me just, I guess we'll switch over to this scene. Yeah. Oh, where's there we go. Let's get the tracker up there. Yeah, so let's talk about Paragon kind of generally first. Just to like catch anybody up that's watching this in maybe like video form after the fact, or I don't know, Nixter and Terabin, you're the only two here right now. Like, I don't know how much you guys know about Paragon, but the Paragon board is going to be extremely important for like late game power of your character. If you're going to be beating the like biggest, hardest stuff in torment difficulty, if you're going to be PvPing, if you're going to be fighting world bosses, and like there's some like super uber like final boss at the end of the game that's supposed to like be really hard to beat, like if you're going to be taking on the big challenges, you have to have at least a decent understanding of Paragon. But the better like understanding you have of building a Paragon board, the more like powerful exponentially your character's going to be. Hey TMO, how's it going? Thanks for joining the stream. Make sure you guys on the YouTube side click that like button. I do appreciate. So let me go to, let's just click build planner. And I'm just going to start on the Necro board as I do like a basic explanation of the Paragon board, just because I already kind of know and understand it a little bit, because that's where I've started. After we go over the basics, we're going to hop into 2 videos I have here, one by Dawn the Crown and one by Cannon. Both these dudes are putting out like a ton of Diablo 4 content right now. Some good stuff. They're very knowledgeable. I want to listen to their videos on Paragon. Kind of let you guys know some maybe new things I learned from watching these, maybe some things that I can elaborate on further that I've picked up, or maybe differences I have in like their methods of thinking. So we're going to kind of do some of that too. And we'll see where the stream takes us, I guess. So without further ado, let's start with the Necromancer Paragon board. Okay. So when you go into your Paragon board, which is this right here, every class starts with a Paragon board that looks pretty much the same. It's the same shape, same number of spaces. There's probably like minor differences in like a couple of the things here, but generally speaking, they're the same. Okay. Paragon, you start at level 50 earning Paragon points. Okay. At level 50, you start earning Paragon points. You earn 4 points per level, meaning that via leveling, you can get a total of 200 Paragon points to spend. All right. Now, one thing you'll see is we have 220 Paragon points to spend here on the builder. You get an extra 20 Paragon points by completing the renown system in the game. Renown basically is like, consider it like a completionist thing for each zone. Once you've like completed each zone, 80% completed, meaning like explored the areas, do the dungeons, find the altars of Lilith. Like there's like a host of different things you could do to earn renown. You don't have to 100% complete a zone, but you have to roughly like 70-80% complete it to get the max level of renown. And then upon getting all of the renown, you get extra skill points, extra stat points, extra Paragon points, etc. Okay. So that's where you can get a maximum of 220 Paragon points. Okay. So, hey, Wolf and Hogs, how's it going? The Wolves have raided. We came to play in your den. Hey, dude, how's it going? Five viewers raided over. Thank you. I appreciate it very much. You are very awesome. Where'd you come over from? I stream so many different things. I am switching to more like full-time Diablo content as Diablo gets closer to coming out. Are you coming over from the Diablo side of the fence? And if so, or even if not, tell me what it was that you were doing in stream. I'd love to hear. I'm actually getting another window pulled up right now that I forgot to pull up. That way I see all of my Diablo channel notifications here. Okay, I think I got it all. Here, but kind of lurking. All right, Angel. The Wolves have raided. Oh, Miyasage is here. Whoa, beard has grown. Been in a dungeon. The beard it's getting bigger. I'm thinking of putting the beard up on the chopping block for this 12-hour Minecraft stream that we have to do. So stay tuned. Minecraft. He was doing an interior build for my viewer house redemption. Oh, cool, cool, cool. Hello. You're so welcome. We are playing Minecraft and building a player redemption house. That's kind of fun. Awesome. I'll be doing a 12-hour Minecraft stream here pretty soon. I'm live on Twitch and YouTube, so you can catch me either. 12-hour, what I'd miss. We hit a stream goal the other day, and I promised a 12-hour stream. So we're probably going to do it on Monday. I need to advertise that. I need to make sure also I don't have anything going on Monday. The kids are out of school, so I should be like free and clear. But I'm thinking of like having a membership goal. Like if we hit 1,000 total channel members, I'll chop the beard off. The wife was like, no, you're not. I was like, I'm going to put it out there. And if they hit the goal, I have to do it. All right. Anyways, to Wolf and Hogs viewers, we are into Diablo 4 right now. I'm going to be maining it as my game of choice once it comes out. And then I'll see how far I go with it after that. I'm putting all my efforts into growing the Diablo channel, and if we can maintain and grow viewership, then we'll see what happens. I might spend a lot of time there. Will this 12-hour stream have both mining and crafting? I'm thinking we'll have time for both. I'm thinking maybe. All right. So anyways, let's get back to the topic at hand. We have the Paragon board. Now the Paragon board, like I said, every class, the first board is more or less the same. And what you do is you start at the starting tile and you chart a path along to get to the glyph socket. And the glyph socket is one of the things that's going to be extremely important. So let's chart our path. And one thing generally to know is like there's going to be a few stats that are pretty important for your class. And it may even be good to take a look at like some of the rare nodes, because they will have like requirements of certain resources or certain stats. And if you meet those requirements, you get an extra bonus. So I happen to know that for the necromancer, dexterity, intelligence, and willpower are all like different requirements for different ones of these nodes. So I want to make sure I hit those as much as possible while staying away from strength nodes, because I know I don't need them. My class doesn't really need strength, and it's not really required for the board here. All right, let me get this window pulled back up. There we go. So we're going to start out by charting a path, right? We could take intelligence, or willpower. We will go the intelligence route, I believe, and get willpower, dexterity, and then we're gonna pick up a couple of these nodes here. And honestly, like, these nodes aren't going to be super important. You have a few different types of nodes. You have the normal nodes, the magic nodes, the rare nodes, the glyph socket node, I guess you can call it. And then you have legendary nodes, which are on different boards. So magic nodes are going to give you very basic things. Like, well, the normal nodes will just give you +5 to some sort of stat. Magic nodes will have like low level, like single, like benefits to them. 5% damage, 7 willpower, 5% damage, 5% damage, 2% life, 2% resistance. There'll be other ones that are a decent amount better than those on some of the other boards that we go to. Okay. And then you have the rare nodes. The rare nodes will typically have 2 stats on them. As you can see here, 4% resistance to all elements, 4% life. And then they will have a bonus where if you meet a certain requirement, you get basically like a doubling of the first stat. Bonus, another 4% resistance to all elements if requirements are met. So we snag that. Our choices here, 2% life, 2% life. So it doesn't really matter, right? Go either way. Resistance to all elements, willpower, intelligence. We have strength right there. We know we don't need that. So we'll go over here, hit intelligence again, and we make our way to a glyph socket. Now, glyphs are these powerful things that you're going to, I think you find them. I think you find them via some method in the game. You don't just like default start with them to choose from. So you're going to find a glyph, and then you're going to insert those glyphs into the board here. Now, all these glyphs do different things. I think this is all of them that were data mined out. Who knows if more will make an appearance or not. This is what we have for now. These glyphs are pretty powerful. They also have a level to them. You have to level up the glyphs to make them, I think it increases their power, but I know specifically it increases their range in which they work. And we'll talk about that here in a second. But we're going to pick one that would be good for my Bloodmancer build, okay? Because ultimately that's what you're going to want to do. You're going to want to pick ones that are good for your build. I'm going to start out here by just favoriting it, so that way it sits up top. So this one, 50% bonus to all magic nodes within range. Blood orbs fortify. I know that's something I want. I know I'm going to use blood orbs. I know I'm going to use fortify and maximum life. So I'm just going to like favorite that one. And when you favorite it, it goes up top right there. Okay. This one, a 30% increase to potion healing. Not really that exciting, right? Every 5 dexterity purchase within range, you gain 2% increase to damage to close targets. That's not bad. You gain 10% damage reduction against close enemies. This one's okay. We'll highlight it for now, just in case we want to come back to it. This one's minion based. You and your minions deal 10% increased damage to slowed or chilled enemies. I know personally with my build, I'm not going to be using minions. I'm not really going to be slowing or chilling enemies. I don't want this one. Thorns damage. I'm not doing anything related to Thorns build, so I'm not taking that. Undaunted. You gain up to 10% damage reduction the more fortify you have. Okay, well I know I'm using fortify, so that's not bad, right? Let's get that one. Dominate. When you overpower an enemy, well I already know my build is using overpower, so I'm gonna highlight this one. Thorns damage, don't care. Minions, don't really care because I'm not using minions. Minions, don't really care. Well, if it says you and your minions, I guess. This is increased physical damage. Not really that big of a deal. I'm not doing physical damage. You and your minions deal 10% increased non-physical damage. So like that would give me a damage boost. Paragon nodes within range gain 40% bonus to their non-physical damage. Okay, so like I'll save this one. We'll take a look at it. Skeletal warriors, we don't care about that. Gravekeeper, you deal 2% increased damage up to 12% for every close corpse. That's not bad. If we have a lot of close corpses, we could do an extra 12% damage. And then another bonus grants 50% bonus to all rare nodes within range. That's not bad either. All right, let's mark that one. I'm not doing a critical strike build, so we don't need to mark this one. 10% increased damage while you have no active minions. That's another potential one. Whenever your minions deal damage, we're not using minions with my build. Skeletal mages, we don't care about. Amplify, curse skills, we're not using. Golem, we're not using. Scourge, you and your minions deal 10% increased damage to enemies affected by shadow damage. Not really worried about that. Whenever you or your minions deal shadow damage, we're not worried about that. And exploit, dealing damage to a vulnerable enemy. We're not really doing your vulnerable build, so we won't worry about this one. A lot of people might do that. I'm going to lurk, have to take a ride with the wife. She has to go somewhere that's 45 minutes away, and I told her I would go. All right, dude. So we've marked a bunch of potential glyphs that we can use, okay? Now, some of them have like 25 dexterity, 25 willpower. You see at the bottom, there's like requirements. They have different requirements for them. This one requires 40 intelligence. That's a lot. 40 intelligence for that one too. And one important thing to take a look at is what your like first bonus is. So for every 5 dexterity purchased within range, you deal 2% increased damage to close target. So that might be if we have, well, we know we have to get 25 dexterity. So that's probably going to be at least 5 times 2%. This will be a 10% damage increase. For every 5 willpower purchase, you get 1.5% increased damage while fortified. Not bad, right? We're going to be doing fortify. 5 willpower purchase within range, you deal 6% increased overpower damage. That's not bad at all. So if we get at least 25 willpower, that times 6% is 30% increased overpower damage. That's not bad at all. And this one, you have these ones here, like they're increasing the effectiveness of the nodes around us. So like Paragon nodes within range gain 40% bonus to their non-physical damage and damage reduction modifiers. That's not that great. So 40% bonus to their non-physical damage and damage reduction modifiers. So like I would use this on a board that has something that's going to make me take less damage. So that's not really going to do me anything for this particular board. I don't want that one. 50% bonus to all magic nodes. If I'm on a board that has really good magic nodes, I might want that one, right? Magic nodes, magic nodes. Wasn't there one that was rare nodes and rare nodes? So like I have 1 for rare nodes and then 2 for magic nodes. So if I am looking at a board that has really good rare nodes or really good magic nodes, I'm going to want those. That's not going to be this first board. So I think we saw the one that was like willpower and we get overpower damage. We're going to take that one. That one makes the most sense for the starter board, I think. And now we just want to make sure we collect as much willpower as possible. We got, that's dexterity. Willpower is this, where is it? This one with the little like triangle above his head. Okay. So first what we're going to do is we're going to like chart a path out. None of these give, that's dexterity. None of these give, oh, these give willpower. So we want to go this way because we can snag this willpower. So we're going to go over to this dexterity, up to this willpower, grab this willpower. Grab this willpower, get the rare node, and then work our way out of here, okay? Now, we want to make sure we have 25 willpower within the circle. So 7 plus 7, there's 14. There's another 5 plus another 5, so we're at 24. We only need 1 more willpower. Prowl the famous. Don't tell my wife that, she get jealous. So I need another willpower. There's one over here. Is there a closer one? Oh, here's one. There's one right there. We have to take either strength or dexterity. Dexterity's not bad to grab, so we can do this and grab 5 willpower. Now remember, every 5 willpower we add on, we get another 6% increased overpower damage, and this is going to be a key thing of our build. So honestly, like it might not be a terrible idea to grab another willpower and another willpower. It's going to use up a few of our little nodes here. And maybe we'll end up coming back to take these back. But for now, I want those extra willpowers because I just grabbed myself another 12% damage with these 2 willpowers being added on because of this glyph. That's awesome that a kid from your boys' school recognized you from YouTube. Yeah. Well, I told him, I was like, no, that's not me. because my wife, she hates that stuff. She doesn't want to be recognized. She doesn't want anybody to know who we are. So I was like, nah, it's not me. But I still thought it was fun. Okay. So we've got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. And then 14, 25 points. So that's 39. We got 39 willpower from here, which will get us times 6 times 7 times 6, right? 8. Okay, no, it gets us 7. 7 times 6, 42% increase to overpower damage. Heck yeah. So you are famous. I am. At the end, plot twist, he is in the live stream. Oh God. He's sitting there like, I freaking knew it. I knew that was him. Okay. So first Paragon board is done. This one's kind of easy. This is where the decisions come in because there is a lot of other Paragon boards. Okay. So this is Sorcerer. Let me switch this to Necromancer. This is the Necromancer's boards available, okay? So we have Bone Graft. Well, I could kind of zoom out here. They've organized it 4 boards on one side, 4 boards on the other, and you can pretty much take as many boards as you can chart a path to. So forget the goal to cut the beard, keep the wife happy, have a goal to dye your hair and beard. Nah, I think chopping it off is easy enough. And she hates it, and it just grows right back. But for like a week or two, like she's tortured, which is obviously fun to me. Oh, what is this? So these boards by the sites that have them have been named after their legendary affix. So there's a couple things you need to understand about a board. A board has a theme to it. And generally speaking, that theme is loosely around the legendary, but you'll find that that's not always the case. The light is coming a little faster, Prowl. It is, dude. It's getting really thick in there. Go back and like pull me up from like a live stream or something like 3-4 years ago. It was like just a little streak that, like, you might not even be able to see it. It's not coming in fast in the hair though. The hair's holding up. It's just the beard. Minnow, you probably look like Santa Claus. I'm joking. Okay, so I want to go over a board that I know I want. Right? I'm doing a blood build. I'm doing overpower and I'm doing fortify. I'm doing blood magic skills. So if you're looking at making yourself a Paragon board, you first need to kind of know like what specialization are you doing? Or you could go backwards if you want to. You could look at the Paragon boards first, look at the legendary node, look at the rare nodes inside of the board, and then look at your glyphs. You could backwards engineer yourself a class. You could see stuff within here and within the glyph sockets that you like. And then you could go back and look at all the skills and think, oh, I can build skills around this. But it's probably easier, especially as we are all like kind of learning the game and the characters and figuring out what's good. It's probably good to start the other way around. So again, we know we're doing a blood build. So I'm going to do a couple things. I'm going to take a look. I'm going to look at the legendary real quick because I do want to know what that is. Legendary is blood orbs grant 5% increased damage up to 15% for 5 seconds. So if I'm generating blood orbs, which I do have some skills, and there are some legendary affixes that generate blood orbs. If I'm picking them up, I'm getting a 15% damage boost as long as I'm picking enough of them up. That's not bad, right? That's okay. But let's take a look at our other things. The next most important thing is what's in range of your glyph socket. Because remember, if I go back to this board right here, and we were looking at some of these glyph sockets, some of them are giving a boost to magic nodes or rare nodes around the glyph. So what I want to do is I want to take a look at all of these magic nodes and all of these rare nodes and see, is this particular skill so good that I would like to get a 50% bonus to it? Okay. If the answer is no for the rare nodes, then I'll look at the magic nodes and think, okay, do I want a 50% bonus to these magic nodes? That is how you're going to decide what glyphs to put in what boards. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense. You're going to decide what board you want by a combination of the rare nodes and unique nodes inside of the glyph socket area and the legendary node if you're going to get it. And there's two different ways that I've seen people go about this. And this is one of those things that I think is it's going to depend on the class that you're building and the nodes that are available to support that class. Okay, so listen, this is important. Your two routes to go are either I'm going to come in to the board attachment gate. I'm going to grab my glyph. I'm going to get the things in here that I want to get. And I'm going to hightail it the hell out of there and go to another board attachment gate and go to a different board. And my goal, if I go this route, is going to be I want to get as many boards as possible, so I have as many glyphs as possible and as many of these like bonuses as possible for these things in here. So how do you decide if your strategy for you is going to be, I want to activate 6 glyphs and 6 boards, or I want to get 4 boards and get the legendary nodes in all of them and just get more stuff in those boards? Because you're going to pick one or the other. Mostly you're going to get less boards but get more stuff within that board, or you're going to get the specific things inside of the boards that you want and get more boards but less stuff within them. Does that make sense? Now, I've seen a lot of creators, and we'll see when we watch these videos like what these guys recommend. I've seen a few creators already start like taking the path of like, I'm going to go in, I'm going to snag, and I'm going to get out. And I'm going to go in, I'm going to snag one, I'm going to get out. And they're hitting a lot of boards. Or they're trying to like really maximize on like the stuff where you like have certain, what's the best way to put it? Requirements based on like what you need to get out of the boards, like the intelligence, willpower, etc. And they'll like really try to maximize on that stuff. And I think I'm like the other way around, but maybe that's just because I've done Necro. We're going to practice this later after we take a look at those videos. But let's say I'm going to take this board, Blood Begets Blood. This isn't a bad board. So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to go up to my board attachment gate, and I'm going to have the opportunity to take Blood Begets Blood. Okay. Now, we have the option to position this board however we want. We can rotate it. You guys see here? We can rotate it around. And this is how it'll more or less look in game. So you're going to have this attachment gate go up and then attach to one of the 4 sides, whatever side you choose. Usually speaking, what you're going to want to do is probably go in closest to your glyph socket. So in this case, I want to go in right here because I'm a straight shot to my glyph socket. Okay. So let's go in. Let's take willpower, intelligence. We're just gonna like beeline it in here, and we'll worry about like extra stuff later. We don't want to go a path that has strength because we know we don't need it. But there's strength here, strength here. We're like trapped by it either way, I guess. So there's no difference. We're just gonna go up. Oh, look, there's strength right there too. Over and in. Okay. So now we have to make a decision on our glyph. Do we want a glyph that gives us 50% bonus to the magic nodes, or one that gives us 50% bonus to the rare nodes? So what's better in this board, basically? So we have a rare node that gives us 10% damage for X amount of seconds after picking up a blood orb. That's not bad, right? We get a 10% damage boost. Okay. Or and 10% and 10 intelligence. Or we get this guy, and we get this guy. We're going to get both of them. 5% blood orb healing. So we get more health from our blood orb, and we get 10 intelligence here. Also, there's a secondary, a bonus. We get another 10% damage for X seconds after picking up a blood orb if requirements are met. And the requirement is 270 dex. Now, this is one part. I don't understand how the math works, but I know generally what happens. This isn't like another thing with like the decision making, guys. It's kind of like there's a lot of things to factor in here. The later boards you bring your way into, the higher the requirement of this is. So I don't think I can zoom that in. No, that part's not going to zoom in. The part where like it says I need 270 dexterity, this same rare node on like the next board, that dexterity requirement is going to be higher. And this is another thing we got to think about, and not something that I thought about before. But like here, we got to bring the whole thing around. So if we are taking a node here, it's going to get us a 50% bonus to rare nodes. Then we damn sure want to make sure that we're going to get the bonus from the rare nodes too, because we're getting 50% on top of that as well. Does that make sense? So we're going to get a 50% bonus to everything here, including the bonus. So that might change our decision. Like we probably want to take whatever board we're going to get the rare node bonuses on first, because the bonus requirements are going to be lower. So now I need to go back and look. We know blood begets blood is okay. Like this one I like, 10% damage for after picking up a blood orb. The other one, the healing isn't as big of a deal, I don't think. What else we got? Bloodbath. So this is another blood-based one. Attacks that are guaranteed to overpower deal 50% increased overpower damage. That's actually really good. That's incredibly good. So now we got to look in here. Okay, what are these ones? Hardened. You get 10% damage. Oh, you get 10% additional damage while fortified. That's good. Should have paid attention to math. Come on, Nixter. Remedy. 4% healing received. Like that's not as good. So this is good. 10% damage while fortified. This one over here is 10% damage after picking up a blood orb. Like we'll be fortified more often than we'll be affected by a blood orb. So that kind of like I'm already leaning to this one out of the two that we've looked at so far. Let's look at another board. Wither. What does this do? Shadow damage increase. What is this? Shadow damage. Okay. Like we're not using a lot of shadow damage. I'm going to stay away from the wither board, I think. What's bone graft? Hold on. So this is obviously a bone skill. Hitting enemies with bone skill increases your damage. We're not using any damaging bone skills, but what's here? Resistance to all elements, bone skill damage. We don't care about this board at all. That board's useless to our specialization. Scent of death. What does this one do? With at least 2 corpses nearby, you gain 15% damage reduction. With no corpses nearby, you have 15% increased damage. That's really good. I like that. Okay, so what else is on this board? Plus 100 armor. So you're always going to have an offensive and a defensive one, I think is the way it works. So plus 100 armor, whatever. It's not a big deal. And then we have plus 25% damage to injured enemies, plus 10 intelligence. And I think what injured enemies are enemies that have like less than like 30% health or something like that. I imagine I'll have fun with this once I have some context to mess with it all. You will. And one thing we're going to do is I'm going to do a fresh Paragon board with you guys. So like I'll kind of poll you guys and see if we have enough people to do the poll, I guess. But we'll do a random class I haven't messed with, and we'll see if we can come up with something, I think. So this is 25% damage to injured enemies. So basically, like once I've got enemies like weak, then this damage buffer is going to kick in. So then I have to, like, I don't know, is it more important to get like 15% damage all the time or 25% damage to injured enemies? I'm thinking 15% damage all the time is going to be more important, right? What else we got? Flesh Eater. Consuming 5 corpses grants 40% increased damage for 6 seconds. That's not bad. What's in here? 16% damage to elites. Okay. What's this one? 4% resistance to all elements. Damage to elites. So like elites are your obviously elite mobs, like the mini bosses and like the dungeons and stuff. And then actual boss mobs. As you get higher in your tiers, you're going to be fighting elite mobs constantly. And they're going to be the real trouble. So 16% damage to elites. This sounds like a good one to boost right here. So if we get this one and we double that, because we get another 16%, we're at 32% damage to elites. And if we get a 50% from our glyph, remember our glyph right here, which one was it? 50% bonus to all rare nodes. So 32 plus another 50%. So plus another 16 is 48%. That seems pretty good. We're going to be doing an extra 48% damage to the hardest mobs in the game. Hey, Ryan, how's it going, dude? That sounds like that might be the winner. We're trying to get the most bang for our buck. Hulking, this one's like a purely, it's Golem. Cult leader. This one's like the bone dudes. So we don't care about those. Okay. We have to look at one more thing. We have to make sure that oh man. We have to make sure, look, we get damage to elites here. We have to make sure that we wouldn't get more of a benefit. We have to make sure we wouldn't get more of a benefit from boosting these blues. Because remember, 50% bonus to all magic nodes. So if you get 50% to that, so let's see, that's 8, 16, 24. But those are the only ones with damage to elites, and these ones are all defensive ones. So yeah, we get 32 here, assuming we hit the dex cap. Versus if we add in these, I'll add these together. That's 20. That's 24. Okay. I'll be spending a month reading before I click anything. Viral, what's up? I'm also hanging out over here too. Okay, cool, dude. So I think we're going to go this route. I think we do. For the rare nodes. So Flesh Eater. Okay, so let's jump back over to our board. Like you guys see like all the crazy decisions you have to make. Okay, we're going to X this board out. It's going to get us our points back. We're going to go to Flesh Eater. And then we want to get to the glyph socket ASAP. So let's give it a rotate. Okay, here's our glyph socket. So again, we want to build our way up. We want to stay away from strength if we can. I don't see strength anywhere in this area. Willpower. We'll just jump over here to the middle. And we'll jump in. Okay. So. I dig the no green screen. Yeah. It won't be an all the time thing. But it'll be, we'll see. I could go either way. Okay. So here we want our 50% bonus to all rare nodes. So we're going to click this. I'm so glad I'm doing this with you guys. Because like I'm catching little things that I didn't catch before. And I think this will help me make a really good video on this. And like walking through this with you guys will help me like shorten up how I talk about it so we can have like a more like clear and precise video. Okay, so we have our rare glyph in here. Remember, we're getting 50% bonus to all rare nodes, and we're getting 2% increased damage up to 12% for every close corpse. We need 25 dexterity and range. That shouldn't be a problem. Dexterity is which one? The little sword one. So we'll have to get some of these little sword guys to get 25. Here's 1, 2, 3. And I think we get dexterity from like something over here. No, it's willpower. Dexterities. And this is the attack one. So we'll get some dex from here too. Nice to see a background that isn't just the game, to be honest. Yeah, I hear you. I like seeing videos that like have the streamers like in their area, right? I feel like it feels more personal. So that's why I wanted to like try to make that change if I could. Okay. So listen, so now we're going to maximize this particular area. What do we want to definitely get from here? And what do we want to just kind of like sit back on for a second and we'll make decisions later. Nixter, I didn't see what you said. Nixter said, I'll be spending a month reading before I click anything. And then Nixter said, right, I'm kind of seeing where I made mistakes. Made mistakes with what? Okay, so I know I want this. I want the damage to elites. So I'm just gonna crawl over here. 8.5% damage to elite. 8.5% damage to elites. 7 dex. 8.5 damage to elites. 7 dex. And rare node. My build. Oh, okay. And we're gonna grab this damage to elites. So this we're good on. We need to make sure we have our 25 dex. So here's 5, 10, and we know there's 7 and 7, 14. So that's 24. So that's 25. So we don't have to touch anything else on this board in here if we don't want to. Now, do we want to? Well, this one right here, 4% resistance to all elements and 10 intelligence. And while I don't really care about the resistance to elements stuff so much, at least not like right now, maybe that is important later, I don't know. I know that I'm getting a 50% bonus to this node. So we're going to get 4%, 8. And then if we get 50% of 8%, we get another 4. So we get 12% resistance to elements if we get this. So that's probably worth it, right? So what we'll do is we'll track a path over. We'll pick this up. We'll pick this up so we can get this resistance while we're here, like we're going through anyways, and we'll get over to this. So we're maximizing our path. So now we picked up 2, 2, 8, plus another 50%. So 8 plus 4. So 12, 14, 16. We got 16% resistance to all elements by going up through here. So now we're done with this. Now we got to make another decision. Do we want this legendary node? Every 5 corpses we consume, we get a 40% damage increase. Like, that doesn't sound bad, guys. That actually sounds like pretty decent, maybe. Ooh, did we make a mistake? We might have made a very slight mistake, and it's not a big one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It took me 8. It would take me 8 to get in here. No, I think we're good. No, we charted the right path. So we need to get to this. So now we're going to consider something else, okay? We have other rare nodes here that we could snag. There's some here and there's some here. What are these rare nodes? Poison resistance, don't really care. Color, lucky hit up to a 10% chance on a lucky hit to execute injured non-elites. That's not really that big of a deal. What's this one? Potion healing, don't really care too much about that. Stifle, 25% damage to injured enemies. That's pretty good. 6% critical strike damage. We're not doing a crit strike build, but that's not bad. And if we get 250 dex, which we definitely can and will, then we'll have another 25% damage to injured enemies. A 50% damage increase to enemies that are below like whatever, 30, 35% health, whatever the number is. That's solid. I'll take that all day. So if we're going to have to track a path up to here, my thinking and how I like to think of this, and I haven't seen other people doing this. This is how my brain works. I can spend a couple extra points to get into this rare node, and I can also grab 12.5% damage to injured enemies, 7.5 crit damage. That was not as big of a deal. 7.5% crit damage. So I can basically just like chart a path right to here. And then if I really wanted to, I could grab some extra damage to injured enemies if I wanted to. We might not do that right away because we want to save our points until the end and spend extra points when we need them. But I like this enough to chart a path up to it. So we're going to go over, up. We're going to hit this strength one here. There's nothing we can do about it. We'll hit strength. We'll hit willpower. Intelligence, this, and this. So we got up to this one. Okay, I'm done right there for now. Now I'm going to go over, up. So I've hit the things on this board that I want to hit. Hey, Lightning Fan, how's it going? So now I want to chart my path out. What's the best path out? What's the shortest path out? This, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm out. If I decided to go this way, 1, 2, I might take these two anyways later. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. See, it's still not a shorter path if I go this way. So we're going to chart a path out by going this direction. And now we're going to go to our next board. Hello, nice to meet you. Hey, dude. Thanks for joining. Thanks for the follow. I appreciate you. Welcome in. So now we're going to go to our next board. So now we have to decide what board we're going to do next. And we have to think, what glyphs are we going to end up using? So remember, our most powerful glyphs are these ones that give our 50% bonus to the magic nodes. And then this one, if there's anything that does non-physical damage, we get a 40% bonus to that. And damage reduction modifiers. Interesting. We'll kind of keep that in the back of our minds. These ones right here, every 5 dex, every 5 willpower, like these, I don't think you get as much of a boost out of doing stuff with these. So we're not gonna pay too much attention to these ones right now. These are like meh, I guess. I need to find let me grab a tissue box. Hold on. So sucked into Zelda, it's hard to transfer game strats into Diablo. I hear you, man. Diablo's hitting it a good time for full release because most people should be far enough through the new Zelda game to where they're like, okay, I'm ready to jump into like something else, and that something else should be Diablo. Thank you for following Deep Blue Apu. What's up, dude? Thanks for joining the stream. Thanks for the follow. I appreciate you. This stream will be available to watch afterwards. So if you want to like catch up with like all the Paragon talk we've done so far, you can go back and do it, but we got a lot more to go. We're like mid into like explaining some stuff with how the Paragon boards work. We're about to cut from this and watch a couple of like really like long-term Diablo players, like slash like people that are like really into the stats. And we're going to listen to their takes on Paragon and see if we can learn anything. Because we might be able to learn something from these. I don't know. I haven't watched them. Okay. So anyways, we're going to do this one last board because this part's important. And then we'll break away. Okay. So we need to decide what board has really good magic nodes. So we have a couple boards we know we want to do. Which ones of those boards have really good magic nodes? So let's go back over to this one because we get to see all the boards pretty easily right here. There is, let's see, where are we? Okay, here we are. What board did we already take? What board did we take? What board is this? This is the Flesh Eater board. Okay. So who has great magic nodes? There's the Blood Begets Blood board, where we're getting overpower damage. We're doing an overpower build. Like we're probably going to this. Overpower damage. And then we get 3 overpower damage boosts. So we're going 15, 30, 45, plus an additional 50%. That's not bad. And what's the defensive stat here? Blood Orb healing. Like that's not bad either. Like it's not something that I'm specifically targeting, but is like an added bonus to what I'm doing. That's not bad at all. Because we are going to be picking up blood orbs pretty frequently, I think. Okay, let's just make sure. Bloodbath. Okay, what's Bloodbath? Damage while fortified. See, this is only like we'll be fortified a lot. So that's 5, 10, 15. But that's 15 versus 45. This is probably worth another magic node increase. Healing received. Like that's not as big of a deal. Was there another board that we were interested in? It was not the Wither board, right? Because that was shadow stuff. We don't care about that one. I think there was one other board that we were like semi interested in. It was Scent of Death, I think. Yeah, this one has damage to injured enemies. So wait. What was that one? So like this is the last part of the decision-making process that we really need to do. We had this. Paragon nodes within range gain 40% bonus to their non-physical damage. Paragon nodes within range gain 40% bonus to their non-physical damage and damage reduction modifiers. What does that mean? So anything that modifies non-physical damage is getting a boost. Is that what that means? So does that mean, okay. So does that mean if I'm getting this 12.5% boost to injured enemies when I use, what is it called? Blood wave? I think it is. It's like, yeah, I need to open another window. Is there something here that tells me what's physical damage, what's not? Like, is blood surge, is this physical damage? Ah, physical damage. Physical damage. So these are physical damage spells. What's this one? Physical damage. Oh, okay. All of my damage is physical damage. Okay. So that there was one of these that did 40% to physical damage, wasn't there? Paragon nodes within range gain 40% bonus to their physical damage. You and your minions deal 10% increased physical damage. Okay, we want this one. We want to consider this one. Paragon nodes within range gain plus 40% bonus to their physical damage and damage reduction modifiers. So this is like a poor man's version of like this for me. Yeah, non-physical elemental. Yeah, you're right. It's just hard to know, like, I guess blood is like a physical thing, right? So I guess that makes sense. Anyways, we go back to this board. So if we use that, if we end up using that one here, that's going to help with damage to injured enemies. So it's going to help give us a 40% bonus to all of this. And then is there any non-physical damage modifiers? See, plus armor. So if we're taking, or physical damage modifiers. So if we're like, we would also, I guess, get a boost to the armor. So I guess that would go with this board. Which means that it's also going to boost this and this. Look at all the math like we have to do in our heads here. And like strategy, right? So if it boosts this 25 plus 25% damage to injured enemies, that means it's also going to boost the bonus another 25% damage to injured enemies, which means that for our node here and here, we want to make sure we get the bonus. Which one is this? Scent of Death. So like here, we made our way out here, right? Let's go to Scent of Death. So like we would like trek in. I think I want to come in here. Ah, that's pretty good. All right, so look, if we trek in the side right here. Oh, look how close that is. If we trek in from the side right here, we'll be able to like sneak in this way to grab that and sneak up here and get this one. Prowl can use every intelligence boost he could get. This is true. Okay, so let's go in. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. So this one, we want this. Paragon nodes, non-physical. Where's the physical one? This. So we want this rare glyph. And then we want to snag. Oh, wait, what do we need? 40 intelligence within range. So if we go over here, this gives us 10. This gives us another 10, so 20. So we trek over here, grab this. And like all of these are going to get a boost. All of these are going to get a boost. I don't care about the dex. We'll take the dex ones out. I really don't care about the willpower either. We'll take those out. Not right now. Like those aren't important. Okay. So we need to make sure we have 40 intelligence. 10, 20. Oh, we need dex and willpower. We're going to need those to hit our dexterity goal. So we hit this and this. We need intelligence. So we have 10, 20, 25, 30. 35, 40. Okay. 40, we're done. We're good there. Oh, but this will be a good path out. So instead of taking this and this, and really instead of taking these, I can go 1, 2. I can go out this way. So hold on, we got 10, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. We got it. So we're good right here, like this, okay? Oh man, but I need to go down here, which means I'm going to pick up these. This is hard. See, I just used 4 to get there. 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40. Okay. We'll go that route. Okay. We want this, because that's pretty good. And now we want to track a path out. We don't really get super close to these, so we're not going to worry about getting those right now. What's the quickest path out? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Wait, we're already. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's 7 either way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. We're getting out again. Okay. And then now I'm not going to finish this off. I'm going to play around with this a little bit more, maybe later. Maybe it might not be with you guys, but now we would just like, we would make a door and we would take these other 2 that we need to do. We would take, Blood Begets Blood and Bloodbath, whatever the other 2, I think it was those 2 that were left. We would end up hitting both of those boards with our remaining, how many points do we have remaining? We have 106 points remaining to hit those 2 boards. And then also we would have to make sure that here, like we want to get these bonuses, we need to make sure we have 340 dexterity, 360 willpower. But I think this is like total, like all stats. So I don't think it's that hard to get up to that. It counts like gear and stuff like that. You go up from board 2 instead if you wanted. From this board, I counted the spaces. This was 7. To go up was 8. To go down was 8. Oh, you mean here? Like you could connect over here too is what you mean? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's 7 that way too, I guess. I see what you're saying. But yeah, it ends up being the same. So I guess it doesn't matter. But that's good to know. I didn't even think about that. Okay. So let's pause from this. Let's see if we can learn something new. Let me turn this music off. Let's see if we can learn something new. We're going to listen to Don the Crown first. He's had some good takes. He's had some things like I don't know if I necessarily believe with and like or like agree with was his method of thinking, but like he seems like a pretty smart dude at like coming up with stuff. So here, let me make sure that you guys have audio. Where is?
So you're trying to plan.
You do. Okay. You actually have audio like extremely loud. Filters. It's because I got this huge gain filter on here. All right, let me test this now.
A Diablo IV build.
Now it's a little low. I don't know why browser audio comes in low, but it does.
You're really hyped for.
I think that's a good volume. Okay. Doesn't mean much. I mean, I seem smart too until I start talking. Oh gosh. All right, guys, here we go. Let's watch Dawn here. We'll pause and talk about things that are interesting.
So you're trying to plan a Diablo IV build because you're really hyped for getting into the game finally, and you've gotten to the Paragon part, and you click on a glyph socket.
Here, I don't know if I'm gonna want to like do. I doubt I want to do a reaction to this, but just in case I do, I'm gonna hit record. All right, so let's see what Don has to say about the Paragon board and see if we can learn anything new here.
So you're trying to plan a Diablo IV build because you're really hyped for getting into the game finally, and you've gotten to the Paragon part, and you click on a glyph socket, and suddenly you feel very overwhelmed. Or
It
perhaps
definitely can.
you are clicking onto a Paragon board and don't know which one to add, or don't know which Paragon boards work well with particular glyphs. Well, I have a resource that'll help you out with that. We've gone and created something that I actually use every single day to help out with theory crafting builds.
I hate spreadsheets
on Twitch basically every single day. And what this
but they can be useful.
Is a mega document for the Diablo University series. So this also has information about like stuff like gems and stuff as well. And Diablo University is basically this animated series that I've been working on.
I think what he's about to show there is the same stuff that we were like looking at here. It's just a little bit more condensed and organized. But like we have all the boards here and we can hover over to see the stats. He just has it in spreadsheet form, I think.
Diablo IV, how certain mechanics work, and I think that it is a pretty good series that tries to explain things on like a new player level. So whether you're a new player or returning a veteran, this should help explain a lot of the systems of Diablo IV for you, and I highly recommend checking it out. Now, what this document does is it has all of the glyph information just laid out for you, and this is all the stuff from the data mine. And so some of the stuff might change, and if it does, we'll update it once again. However, in column A here, you can see the glyph name. You'll notice that, hey, a big barbarian here, which means that all of these glyphs are for barbarians. And if we keep scrolling down, we'll get to druid and there so forth.
That's actually a lot of glyphs.
The second thing, though, is the glyph baseline benefit. And so this is the thing that when you like socket the gem in, or socket the glyph in, not gems, this is the thing that you get right away. You don't have to have a certain amount of stat in the radius of the glyph. And so for Blood Feeder, for example, for every 5 dexterity purchase within range,
scales with levels. That's good to know.
A percentage increased damage to bleeding targets. Now this does scale up with levels. Yes, you can level glyphs, and yes, this is basically just the rare glyphs, not the magic ones, because we don't have any information about those yet. But this is just the
so there's lower end glyphs. I didn't know that.
The bonus effect here requires that you reach a threshold of stat within the radius of the glyph. And so here for Blood Feeder, we would get 5% increased critical strike chance against bleeding enemies if we have purchased 25 dexterity within the radius of the glyph. Now, if you don't know, when you put a glyph into a socket, it kind of has
there's that sheet we were just looking at
around it. We don't know for sure what the minimum size is going to be. So like if there is a small size or a 1 radius, it would be about this big.
1, 2, 3. So it'd be 4 levels or 4 different radiuses.
To here, and this is where we believe magic glyphs are going to start in size. Rare glyphs should start at a radius of 3.
Start at a radius?
Goes all the way out to here.
And I would think they start at a smaller radius, and then you level them and grow them
to that pink radius, which is like the full thing. And so you have to purchase stats within this range in
to get the benefit,
to unlock the bonus effect. So I've gone through and I've sorted out all of the glyphs first by threshold type. So for Barbarian, there's Dexterity, Willpower, and Strength. I then sorted them alphabetically as well for you. I've gone and grabbed the maximum glyph power, how much the multiplier is for that.
It seems useful. I might take a look at this for like my own use, not like stream use.
9 times, and then the maximum value for that.
Mr. Average, thanks for the subscribe.
So I'm like, I want to use Blood Feeder. This is a Dexterity glyph. I'm going to click down here on the Barbarian tab, and I can see all of the Barbarian boards.
He's just going over his board.
Always kind of like going.
Okay, we're not learning anything about Paragon here.
Let me know if this helps you out. Let me know if you have any questions.
We're gonna get off this. All right, let's check out and see what Canon has to say. Canon usually has some pretty interesting takes. This is a 22-minute long video. Maybe we'll like watch it at like a slight increased speed. I don't know how fast he talks. We'll start at 1.25. Let me kind of like restart things for any potential video form that I want to use in the future. And we'll do a proper open. All right, let's take a look and see what Canon has to say here. I guarantee you're sleeping on this. You're welcome. And I know that this video of his has to do with has to do with Paragon and probably glyphs.
One of the things you have to understand at the end game for Diablo IV is the Paragon Board. And I know what you guys are probably thinking. It seems pretty simple. You just get points, you get nodes that give you stat points, and you pick up some powerful nodes, some legendaries here, some rare nodes there, and bam, pretty simple, right? Well, not really. Despite what a lot of people are saying, the system in itself, it is a simple one. However, there are layers to the Paragon Board system that you have to understand. Otherwise, you're going to be costing yourself a lot of power.
Yes,
and while
this
the
is
system
true.
itself, again, is very simple, because there are multiple layers that you need to understand, there are a lot of options. When you have a lot of options, there's complexity. And I can tell you this right now.
Yes.
No one's
I've
Paragon
already seen
Board
this.
is going to look exactly the same, which is the reason why I'm making this
That's
video,
what makes
so
it
that
fun.
you understand what to do, because it's not going to be a copy pasta job. If you found this video helpful, all I ask is for you to like and subscribe.
And that's a good
join me
system,
during
I
the
think.
early access launch for Diablo 4.
Anytime you have a system to where like the person that's doing the decision making has a lot of agency over what's best for them, instead of like one person just figuring out this is it, just do this one thing and then that's all you need to do, it really makes the game a lot better. Like you just have so many more options, so much more variety, and it's more fun to just like think about your decisions rather than just copying what somebody else does, because that's the best thing to do.
I'll be giving away free copies of Diablo 4 as I have been during the previous beta weeks. Let's begin the video. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is quickly go over the basic structure of the Paragon Board. Now, a lot of you guys probably do know this, so I will make this quick. So once you hit level 50, you will unlock the Paragon Board. And every level that you get after level 50 up to 100, you'll gain skill points or Paragon points that you'll be able to apply to the Paragon Board, no longer to your skill tree. You can get a maximum of 200 Paragon points, plus 20 for renown, so a total of grand total.
We went over that earlier.
20 Paragon points. That's the max, and you can see that in the skill builder here. Now, the Paragon Board consists of what we call nodes. Every little circle here you see is considered a node. If you want to take one node, you're going to consume one skill point. You'll start out with the starting board every single time with a starting tile. As you can see here, you're going to take a node that is next to the starting tile, and you can't go diagonal. So we're going to either start with this one, or this one. So we're going to take this one here. This is a normal node. This is the first type of node that you have to be aware of. We're going to take this all the way up, and next we see a magic node. This is the next level up. Magic nodes are typically better than normal nodes, right? And then the next node above that would be the rare node. So notice how the rare node has a bonus effect. You're going to see that in order to unlock
Hey, Sire, how's it going?
10% damage if requirements
No,
are met, that requirement
we're theory
is
crafting
willpower.
D4.
I need 160 willpower.
We're learning
On my character if I want to get an additional 10% damage. So I'm getting the 10% damage and 4% life from this rare node, but in order for me to get the additional 10% damage,
you have
I
to
need
get the willpower.
160 willpower. That would give me 20% damage from this node. So what you're going to see as we go through this Paragon Board is you're going to see a lot of these stat requirements. We're going to continue to take this all the way up to the next thing that you have to understand, which is the glyph socket. Now, when you get to this glyph socket, you're going to have the option to equip certain glyphs that you will discover as you play Diablo 4's endgame. Each glyph has a different power. You can see, for example, Exploit has a bonus effect and an additional bonus effect, along with a requirement of 25 strength. That means when you equip this glyph, you'll have that first bonus effect, and in order to unlock the additional bonus effect, you will need 25 strength within the radius. Well, what is the radius? Let's go ahead and equip this. Now you're going to see a red outline. This right here,
that's max radius.
Is the glyph radius. Every node that's within this radius will count towards that now. So you need to pick up 25 points.
Who knows how long it's going to take to level these glyphs, or even what it takes. I don't know.
Unlock that additional bonus. We're going to talk more about this here in a little bit. Once you select your glyph, you're going to continue on upwards through the Paragon Board. And no, this is not in any specific order. I'm just going through the board. And you're going to get to a board attachment gate. Now, when you take this, you're going to get these attribute points here, 5 strength, int, willpower, dex. And you're also going to be able to select your next board, which is categorized based off of the legendary node that is present on that board. And you can see that we've got a few options here. Now, these legendary nodes are the next thing that you need to understand. So let's just select Cheap Shot, for example. You're going to see that unlocks the next board.
There's that board.
Before I start this board, I do have the option to rotate the board so that I can start at a different entry. This is pretty important if you really want to min-max your route.
Yes,
the other thing you're going to notice is that the legendary node that's present on the board is always outside of the glyph radius. That's important to know. Which, by the way, the radius on the glyph socket can be increased as well as you level up the glyph. I should have probably mentioned that earlier. So let's go ahead and take this all the way up to the glyph, and you will be able to get that visual. We'll just put a random glyph in there for now on that glyph radius, and you can see that the legendary node is clearly outside of that. Now, I do believe that a 4 radius, which is what you're seeing here, 1, 2, 3, 4 to the perimeter, I believe that is the maximum radius in the game, but I don't know for sure. Maybe end game or different seasons, they allow us to have larger radiuses. But as of now, I think if you are going to
seems pretty good.
Planning for a 4 radius is pretty good. Obviously, it's not going to start at 4 radius because you have the ability to upgrade your glyph that would increase the size to 4, but I believe believe that's the case. We'll find out during launch. So this is pretty much how the Paragon board works in a nutshell. So now let's talk about some of those layers I was referring to earlier, starting with the rare nodes. I mentioned that there was a bonus effect, as you can see here with this one. You get a 6% damage reduction from slowed enemies if requirements are met, that requirement being 260 strength. Right now, we're looking at a rogue board, and rogue's main stat is dex. Dex is the main stat that gives us skill damage. Strength gives us resource generation. You're going to notice that each board has certain characteristics, and if we're starting with the rares, you can clearly see that not all rares require dex, which is my main stat as a rogue. This one requires intelligence, and this one requires strength. So you're not going to just be mindlessly choosing dex as many.
It's usually going to be 3 out of 4 stats. 3 of the 4 stats.
You have to pay attention to, well, the first thing are the rare nodes that are on the boards that you choose.
Rogue maybe wouldn't have intelligence.
The boards that you are taking, what are the rare nodes actually providing? Cheap Shot, you can see, is providing a 6% damage reduction with the first node that's within the radius, and the second rare node that's within the radius is providing 15% damage to crowd-controlled enemies. Every single glyph radius will consist of 2 rare nodes, one which is typically offensive and one which is typically defensive. Those rare nodes will always be surrounded by magic nodes, and outside of the glyph radius you will see and
it's important to note those magic nodes are more or less almost all, like you'll have like 2 that are stat based and then 3 that are like just a weaker version of the rare node.
Additional rare nodes that are also surrounded by blue nodes, magic nodes, and a legendary node outside of the starting board, of course, that's outside of that. Most people would simply look at this legendary node and say, okay, I want to go that board, or I don't want to go that board because its legendary effect is not what I want. That is definitely not what you want to do. You want to actually take a look primarily at the rare nodes that,
from what I've seen, and maybe I've really only looked extensively at the Necromancer board, so we're going to look at another one after this, but from what I have seen, it seems to me like the legendary nodes kind of theme the board. So if you like what's in the legendary node, you're probably going to like what's in the rare nodes and the magic nodes inside of the glyph area. But we'll have to see if that's always the case or not. That's just my observation so far.
That are within the glyph radius, which will always be 2, and see what effects they give you, because some of the boards are super juiced with shitty legendaries and some are vice versa. So you definitely want to pay attention to which board you want for your particular build and not choose a board just strictly based off of the legendary node that's on it. Now, the reason why we want to prioritize or pay closer attention to the rare nodes that are within the glyph radius is because of, well, the extra stats that you could potentially get that are within the glyph radius. Some of these glyphs will give you a much bigger benefit. For example, versatility grants 50% bonus to all magic nodes within the range. So if I were to take this node right here, now all the magic nodes, or the blue nodes that I have here, they're going to have an additional 50% effect to them. Now you're probably wondering why I have this spreadsheet out and what purpose does this serve? And we're going to be getting into this later, but for now, just understand so that I don't lose you here, because a lot of this can be confusing if you're seeing it for the first time. Just know that these right here are all of the rogue boards. That's all you need to know right now. You got the starter board, then you got this board, this board, this board. Right now we're on the cheap shot board, so that's this one right here. Okay. You can ignore these for now, but just look at this. What I've done was I've written out the 2 nodes right here that are within the glyph radius right here for cheap shot, because remember, every single board will have 2 rare nodes within the glyph radius, and you can see that one is damage reduction and one is damage. So why is this important? Well, it's important because you don't want to just randomly choose a board. The order that you choose your board will have very big significance, because rare nodes will become increasingly more expensive as you advance to.
So that's one of the things we talked about earlier. It's actually like, it's incredibly important to know. And I noticed this. I didn't design my Necromancer like maybe the best way the first time through, because I don't think I had that understanding. But you want to take boards, you're going to base your order of the boards that you take based off the glyphs. Or based off the glyphs. Yeah. So let's say there's a glyph that gives a 50% boost to rare nodes in the area. You want to take those boards first, because it is most important to you to get those rare nodes bonuses. Now, I think what'll probably happen, in all honesty, is by the time you reach like end game, like as you're getting to level 100, maybe even before that by a decent amount, maybe like level 70 or something. I don't know. I think you're going to have enough stat boosts to where it's probably not going to matter as much. And you'll have like enough, in this case, like on his screen right there, it's strength, whatever the stat is, you'll probably end up having enough to like meet those requirements if you have decent gear. But maybe not. So in case it's not the case, you want to make sure that you take your boards that are going to use your glyph that gives you a bonus to rares. That's a lot of like words salad right there. You want to make sure you take those boards and glyphs first.
To the next board. What do I mean by that? Well, this right here requires 260 strength because it is my second board. First board selected after the starter board. If I were to choose this node, Cheap Shot, and try to get this node as my third board, then this will go up 90 points. It will require 350
it's a lot
for me to get the bonus effect to this. So I'll show you. I'm going to go ahead and cancel that board, and we'll take a random board here, and then we'll take Cheap Shot as our third board. And you can see that I turned it. So you can see that strength node is now 350. The wild strength node is 350. So
yes,
this is important because if you take a specific board late that requires a stat point that you're not heavily invested into, and then you take a board that requires, let's say, for example, your main stat, and you take that too early, that order can really mess up.
That's true. See, that's another thing to kind of factor in too, is like what's your main stat and what's your like secondary stat. Right? Like what is the main one or main two? Probably just going to be one mostly, right? Stat that you're going to be like spending a lot of or getting a lot of your like bonus points in through your gear and such. Like if you save that one for later, like maybe, I don't know, like a sorcerer with intelligence, right? If you save that board for later, like you're pretty much guaranteed to hit the intelligence like requirement later on anyways. So it can make sense to take that board later. Whereas if you're a sorcerer and you have one that's like dexterity, like you're not going to be using, like you're not going to be stockpiling a lot of dexterity. So if you take that board towards the end, you might be locking yourself out of those rare node like bonuses. So that makes a lot of sense. We're gonna have to look at that
because you're not going to have as much strength as you would dex, for example, with rogue, which is why when I wrote these notes out, I wrote the actual stat that's required. So for me as a rogue, dex is the most accessible stat point, both on my gear as well as my Paragon board. So a stat like willpower, should I choose to take it, I would not want to take this board, no witnesses, assuming I want this rare node. I would not want to take this late. I would want to take this as early as possible because I will not be getting a lot of willpower on my build. As a rogue, let's say I want to take this right here, Tricks of the Trade. You're going to see that 270 dex is required for 16.5% damage to elites. Maybe I want that, which, like I said, you never want to choose a board strictly based off of the legendary it has. Tricks of the Trade does not have a legendary that I want. However, it is a board that provides me with pretty good stats, 16.5% damage to elites, but most importantly, it requires dex. This right here also seems pretty good. Damage after dodge, a lot of these sound pretty good. However, the issue is that I could only take so many int focused nodes because I will not have access to a lot of int. Maybe, probably. I can also get int or any other stat from my gear, which also plays into this whole thing, which I will get into a little.
And also, like, I don't know, let's say like you need a ton of intelligence to get like your next bonus on your board, and you're a rogue. Like that intelligence is like a dead stat. At least to some degree. To a lesser degree, I think the way that Diablo works is like all the stats have some type of benefit to your character, but some are more important than others, right? So you don't want to heavily invest in intelligence for a rogue. Doesn't make any sense. So if you can minimize the amount of intelligence you need and then max out the amount of dex that you need, it makes sense for a rogue to do.
A little bit later, but essentially the gear that you wear will also influence your Paragon board ultimately, because you can maximize your board order based off of the amount of stat points that you have, which is also influenced based off of the gear you have. So now that tells us that, well, some of the legendary items that we see where you're getting plus X amount of stats, that might seem like shit to a lot of people before, because you're thinking, well, I'd rather have +5 to rank or whatever that may be. Stat points kind of seem boring. Well, not really, because those extra
but for Sorc, you might need the intelligence. Well, yeah, I mean, basically with the sorcerer, you're going to get intelligence anyways, and you're going to want intelligence on your gear because it's make you do more damage or whatever, right? So if you save your intelligence based board where the rares that you're getting that you care the most about have an intelligence requirement, if you take out as like your 4th board, which will probably mean you have to have 440 or 460 intelligence, it makes more sense because you'll probably get up to that much intelligence. If you're doing a 5th board, you might want to push it all the way that far. Kind of makes sense.
Stats could be the difference between unlocking one of these nodes or even reordering your...
And just keep in mind, ultimately, this only matters if you really, like, if you care about maximizing your character. For people that just want to simply kind of just like chill and have fun with the game, having a basic understanding of this and not going like super in depth is fine. Like if you just kind of like generally understand like, okay, well, these are what the different nodes are. This is what the glyphs are. And I want to make sure I like take a short path from one to the other. Like you'll probably be fine. Right. But if you want to like, since you're doing it all anyways, if you want to like really dive into like, well, what's going to be the best thing for my character, not just what's good, what's the best? Well, then that's when all of this stuff really starts to like matter.
Paragon board more efficiently so that you can take, let's say, an extra int board that you otherwise wouldn't have been able to take if you didn't have that item, further min-maxing your build, giving you an extra 5, 10%, 1%, whatever that may be. So you can kind of see what I meant at the beginning of the video when I said that your board will not look the same as my board. So if we go back to our Paragon board here, we're going to take a look at this, right? This one, versatility, the bonus is 50% bonus damage to all magic nodes. So we obviously want to take this glyph on a board that has very nice magic nodes. This is actually pretty good. 7% core damage, not bad. And then we get extra stats and armor here. Now, specifically with versatility, like I mentioned before, you need 40 dex in order to unlock the additional bonus.
Yes.
That additional bonus is pretty damn good. 15% increased damage. Now, one of the challenges with the glyphs is that you can't just choose whatever glyph you think is best, because some of the glyphs won't be available for some of your boards.
Wait,
for
what?
example, let's take this one, combat. You're going to see that combat requires 40 intelligence. And for every 5 intelligence that I purchase within this glyph radius, I'm going to deal 4% extra damage, critical damage with my core skills. So what I need to do is I need to know exactly how much intelligence is
on the board
from this glyph radius on this board. So we take a look at Cunning Stratagem. Let's look at Cunning Stratagem. On a 4 radius, you're going to see that there's only 39 int available, which means I do not want to take combat on this board because the requirement for me to unlock the additional bonus requires 40 intelligence. I need 40 intelligence from that specific radius. Not going to happen. So this is definitely not one that I want to take. Instead, I'd rather take this glyph on a board that provides me with a lot of intelligence. And the board that provides me with the most intelligence is Leiron's Instinct and Exploit.
Yeah, TMO, and there's so TMO said min-maxing is often a lot of effort for not all that much payoff. I think it's true. But like there's different levels of like min-maxing. Like if you want to go extreme with it and like really squeeze like every single point out of every single thing, it could be a tiresome effort. It could take a lot of time. If you want to make sure that within reason, like you're going through and like getting a little bit extra knowledge about Paragon boards to make sure that you just take the right things in the right order, it cannot be that bad, right? I think min-maxing can get really tiresome for a lot of players when you try to do it with like gear. Like you're really going through and like, okay, I'm going to farm and farm and farm and farm and farm for hours and hours and hours to try to get a better roll on this one stat, on this one piece of gear I like. That's when it can kind of get kind of crazy and very time consuming. But if you want to like min-max to like a smaller degree where you're like understanding this stuff, understanding your skills better, and then trying to find armor within a decent range, understanding the legendary affixes, like those types of things, like you can like info dump yourself like all right away, like I kind of like to do, and like understand all that stuff going in. And just like, there you go, like season 1, like you're kind of good and ready to go and you have all the knowledge. Or like it's knowledge also that you'll kind of like gain over time just by like watching other people play, playing yourself, like hopping into YouTube videos every once in a while. And then like maybe a few seasons in, like the min-maxing stuff starts to become a little bit more natural.
weakness. So if this was something that I wanted to take, then I would take a look at exploit weakness here, which is 49, and then I would take a look at the rare node that's on it, and I see that it's strength. My board, my total board as a rogue, strength is not the most accessible. The most accessible stats for a rogue on the Paragon board is dex followed by intelligence. The next would be strength. So this means that if I wanted to take this glyph, and I really wanted this glyph, I would want to take it with exploit weakness or Leyrana's instinct, excuse me, which is an int board. Let's just say I really want it on exploit weakness because of the vulnerable damage. Then because the requirement for this node is strength, I want to take exploit weakness as early as possible. Does that make sense? I don't want to take exploit weakness as my 4th or 5th board because it requires strength. And if I take this board as my 4th or 5th board, it's going to cost exponentially higher to the point where there's no way I'll be able to unlock enough strength because I won't be able to get enough strength from my board and my gear. If you're wondering what these are down here, these are just glyphs. They're essentially napkin nodes. Versatility is a 40 dex requirement glyph. Closer is a 40 dex requirement glyph. Bane is a 25 strength requirement glyph. And I was just tracking a few things there. Okay, so let's just summarize everything that we just talked about because I know that was a lot to unpack. All right.
Okay.
So
we'll skip the summary.
Route. For example, if we take a look at my personal end game, going to be very important, and the amount of stat points that we're getting from our altars, from our gear, is also going to heavily influence our board order and our route. For example, if we take a look at my personal endgame theory crafted build, which I will certainly make adjustments to, and I will be posting a video in regards to this later.
Yeah, I need to maximize mine.
The order in which I advance through the tree, and I can prioritize certain stat points. For example, I might not need to take this node right here that gives me an additional 7 strength if I have more than enough strength from my gear. So if I don't take this node, and that happens throughout this entire journey through the Paragon board, that might free me up 10 skill points, maybe even, right? Which means that by my 5th board, maybe that'll be the difference between unlocking an extra glyph or an extra bonus effect from the glyph versus not at all. Finally, the legendary nodes. This is something that is always outside of the glyph radius, meaning you always have to make a decision whether you want to go for the legendary node or the glyph node. And if you go for both, you're going to be spending a lot of skill points. Sometimes you might want to, sometimes you might not. For me specifically, in this case,
on the board.
You can see how many skill points that I've invested just to pick up this legendary node. Now, those are all skill points that I could have maybe even invested into this glyph radius right here, further juicing out all the other rares and magic nodes that I had that I would have picked up had I not gone for the legendary node. However, when you start getting to the late boards, when you start getting to your 4th or 5th board, remember some of these requirements, these stat requirements for these
530 strength
start getting exponentially higher, meaning that the rares that you pick up in the later stages may not be as effective, meaning now it might be more worth it to actually pick up your legendaries in each board. So I obviously don't have the answer for every single board right now.
Paragon boards, they're going to take a lot of tinkering around for a lot of people.
That's the board that I've been looking at quite a bit. I have dabbled into some of the other boards, but I'm really trying to figure out rogue since it will be the class that I plan on maining. So please understand that everything that I'm telling you is based off of obviously leaked information on this board. I don't think Blizzard's ever come out and actually said, hey, this is our Paragon board, here are all the points.
Yeah, they have
I'm
it.
just assuming that
these are just data mined, leaked.
And this is also assuming that systems don't change, but I believe that the general principle and structure of the Paragon board is what I've explained in this video. So I hope that helps. After realizing that everyone's build is going to be slightly different to one another, I felt like it was really important for me to make this video because, well, it's going to be important for you to have a basic understanding of how the Paragon board works.
Legendaries over glyphs.
Even if you want to copy my build, my boards.
No, so it's a depends kind of thing. You're probably always going to hit a glyph on a board, but then some boards, the legendary might not be a huge deal to you, and other boards you might really want the legendary. So it's going to kind of just vary based on your build and the importance of that legendary stat for your build. And then what's more important for your build, that one legendary node or the rare nodes, combination of rare nodes and or unique nodes inside of your glyph area.
Distribution will still be a little bit different, and having that basic understanding of how this stuff works will really help you in your build. Of course, there are things that I might be missing as well, so definitely let me know in the comment section below if there's anything I missed. We're all starting at ground zero, guys, regardless of how many hours everyone's putting into researching this stuff, so definitely let me know if I missed anything. I hope you guys found this video helpful. Like and subscribe if you did. Come hang out with me on Twitch. I'm in the D4 category all the time. I'll see you in the next video.
Okay, so here's here's just one thing. Like if I were to add something to what Cannon said, this is what I would add. Is like as you look at the different boards that you have, you want to like look at all of the boards, and you need to make a decision based on your build. How many of these boards are even worth you having, right? So for me, blood gets what? Blood. So that's 1. Bloodbath 2. Scent of Death 3. Flesh Eater 4. There's 4 boards, total boards, that I would like to have from all of this. So when I go through and chart my path, I'm charting my path for 4 boards plus the original board. So really it's 5 total boards. And then I'm gonna order like what boards are most important to me, and which boards do I think I'm gonna be more likely to be able to get the rare node bonuses from. Okay. And there's something else to balance. A lot of people are ignoring the fact that like here, where's the, let's see, do I have the bone graft board here? Or I guess it doesn't really matter. We could look at any board. A lot of people that are doing these, they're charting a path to the glyph and then out. They're going to the glyph because the glyph does give you bonus to your rare nodes and your magic nodes. And then they're hightailing it out, sometimes making a path to the legendary node. But there are other unique nodes or rare nodes on your board. So like this is getting me damage to elites, right? That's actually really nice. This right here is getting me damage to injured enemies. It's 25%. Like that's nothing to scoff at. Like 25% is pretty good, right? This one's not that great. This one's not that great. So like you probably also too want to maximize the boards that you're already getting if you're doing a value judgment of is 1, 2, 3 extra like nodes more important here than maybe making it to the glyph on your last board. I don't know. It's gonna vary so much from one person to the next, and from one build to the next. And you're gonna have to make that judgment call for yourself. So I would just add that one caveat to what Cannon said here is don't only look at your nodes inside of the glyph socket radius. That's probably the most important. So you probably do want to start there, but don't let that be the end all be all. Make mental note of a couple of other nodes on your boards that may be good. Like I never even looked at this one. Like this one's got critical strike. I don't care about critical strike. I'm not building for that. So that doesn't matter. Shadow resistance, I don't care about. 25% damage to healthy enemies and critical strike damage. So that's like a kicker, right? And I get another 25% if I get 360 dex. Okay, well now I got to start thinking 50% extra damage to enemies that have over whatever percentage health that is. I don't know. Is it 60%, 65%, 70%? Like that first section of the health bar for like elite mobs, basically, right? Is what I'm going to care most about for that. Or like, that'll help me like one shot, like non-elite mobs easier. Like that's a big deal. So calculate that in as you're thinking about also how many boards you're going to take. That's all I would add. All right. I killed the recording. All right, let me check up. Sophia said, and that's all up to RNG. Wait. For sure, but can we really have both a legendary and a good build for a glyph? Man, what a headache, been trying multiple ways. But none felt right. Nixter said, what complements my build? A question you'll be asking yourself a lot. Yes, it is. Sophia said, and that's all up to RNG. You mean like the gear you get and stuff? Glyphs will be late game. Maybe I'm going for only golds and blues plus the one legendary I need. Yeah, I don't know when you start like really getting the glyphs. I'm assuming you start seeing like the basic ones. He said that there's like some magic ones that aren't as powerful as these. These are the rare glyphs. So there's like magic glyphs that you'll probably start getting in Nightmare, I imagine. And then I imagine the rare glyphs, maybe you won't even see them at all until Torment. I don't know. All right, I want to poll something. If there's anybody that's in the Twitch chat that's not also in the YouTube chat, you can just like drop a message to let me know. Okay, here, let me get my poll worked up. Start a poll. Should we ... min max my Bloodmancer Paragon board, or chart a new board for new class? Okay, I'm putting a poll up in YouTube chat. Again, if you're in Twitch chat, you can just type it in, or you can hop over to YouTube and put your vote in. Up to you. If we go the Bloodmancer route, I know a little bit more about what I'm doing there. So that would be like deep diving into the weeds of like figuring that out. If we do the new class, I'm kind of starting fresh. We're going to have to build like a skill board first. We got to build skills first. I don't think we'll jump into equipment because that'll start to take too long. And we'll jump to the Paragon, and we'll build a Paragon based off of the skills that we pick. I'm going to step away for 2 seconds, just see if either of my kids are still awake so I can tell them good night, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, thanks for waiting. It looks like you guys 8 votes in wanted me to chart a new path for a new class. So this will be me doing something fresh and new. Either way, I'm here trying to understand how it works. It's a smidgen overwhelming, but I'm sure once we start playing, I have a good understanding of it. Now it's just a matter of like actually doing it. Okay, so you guys said a new class. Let me, okay, my build planner. Let's go. Should I new poll it? Let's do a new poll. Sorry, poll. Which class should I build? Sorcerer, Barbarian, Rogue, Druid. All right, you guys tell me. Put your vote in right now. If you're on YouTube, if you're on Twitch, again, you can just type it in and let me know. Of course, it's going to be like split up to the point where it only takes a couple votes to be overwhelming win. Man, it's gonna be Druid. Druid's like, I haven't even played Druid, but I have an idea. I could build a Druid like I built my Necro, because Druids have overpower and fortify, I think. And I like the idea of that style build. It sounds really fun, but I guess we'll have to figure it out. Okay, so let's build a Druid. I think it would take 2 more votes for sorcerer to overtake druid. Anybody else? Anybody else putting a vote in? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Make sure I'm not missing any special news. Nope. Looks like we're good. Okay. Looks like druid it is. This will be interesting. Okay, so again, I've never done anything with a druid before. It's the only class I didn't have time to play. I was going to play druid in the Server Slam weekend, but the Server Slam weekend ended up being a day shorter than I thought, and it was a busy weekend for me, so I didn't have time to get into it. I was going to make the druid like Sunday evening, play it Sunday night, and then play it all Monday up through and like at least get it to level 20, but I didn't get the chance to do that. So let's dive in, okay? I'm going to go into this not having a full understanding of like what kind of sucks for the druid and what's really good. So I'm going to be taking everything at face value, like what looks like it works good and sounds like it works good. Okay. All right. And then like the way I go through and I'm going to build a character, I'm probably going to start with stuff that I'm going to go back and change later. Okay. Because I'm going to see what some of these synergies are as we go and like what feeds off of what, and then go back and start to like build based off of that. Maybe we'll do, I saw vulnerable up here. Maybe we'll do like a vulnerable build. Vulnerable is very powerful. Okay. So let's see what we have. Shapeshift into werebear, maul enemies in front of you dealing 20 damage. Enemy hit by maul, fortify for 2% of your base life. That's not bad. So you get a 2% fortify each time you hit somebody with maul. Maybe do that with the list layout. Might be easier. Wait. Oh, okay. I didn't even know this existed. I saw somebody else use it and I was like, wait, I haven't seen that. Okay. Okay, so maul. So fortify 2%. Range and radius of maul. Okay. Which means more fortify, right? Knockdown. Werewolf. Attack speed increase. I'm not a fan of like that style of play, so I'm not going to take that one. This is where we are so far. Storm strike. Electricity. Dealing 20% damage to your target. Chaining. Gain 25% damage reduction. Immobilize. I'm not a big like crowd control person either. Has 50% chance to make enemies vulnerable. That's not bad. I know we're not going to be using these skills frequently, probably. Wind. 20% chance vulnerable. So if we go vulnerable build, we'll go this route. One of those two. Okay, for now, we're going to go this route. Okay, let's see. Lightning storm. Immobilize. Again, not a fan. Slowed. Vulnerable. 10% chance for vulnerable. Okay, so like that could be a route for vulnerable build. Overpower. Oh god, I freaking love the idea of like fortify overpower, guys. I just really do. I really love the idea of this style of build. So wait, your next pulverize will overpower every 12 seconds while you remain healthy. Oh man. Enemies overpowered by pulverize are stunned, so you get crowd control on top of the overpower. That sounds really good. All right, I'm leaning this way so far. Werewolf, attack speed. Again, I'm not a big fan, and that's critical strike. Immobilize, crit. Okay, we're going this route. Overpower. And then stunned. That. And we'll come back up here and grab the 25% increased radius, because that's going to get me more fortify. Depending on what's going on around me, it's going to get me more fortify. Okay. So what's this one? Defensive. Okay, this is our defensive stuff. So what's going to help me stay alive? That's going to make sense. Barrier. Non-physical damage reduction. Healing 20%, max life. Reducing nearby enemy damage dealt by 70%. Oh man, I'm loving Werebear, man. Debilitating roar also fortifies you. Oh man. That's, how do I not? They know what I like. They know what I like. Slows enemies 65%. Heals you for 4% of your maximum life. I'm gonna go with slows, I think, because with Fortify, the thing with Fortify is you're building up so much extra life that you should, in theory, find yourself in a position where you need to heal less often. So taking stuff that heals you a lot of times isn't going to actually heal you because it doesn't heal the fortified life. It only heals like your normal life bar. So I think we'll go with slows. I'm going to put extra points in this for now. Okay, let's see what else we got. What is this category? Companion. Okay. Companion. These dudes are doing extra damage. More damage to enemies that are slowed. So that's like, that like plays off of this. Critical strike, attack speed. Oh, wait. Lucky hit. Your wolves' attacks have up to a 10% chance to fortify you. There's another fortify, see? So I think I touched on this earlier, but in case you didn't know, fortify and overpower go together. Fortify. I did this in like a previous stream. I'm going to do it again for you guys. Like say this is your, I just want the pen to be bigger. So say this right here is your health globe. Okay. And let's say in that health globe, you're full life. You have all your life. This is 100% life. Let's just say this is 100 life. Okay. Now you get fortify. Let's say you get 5% fortify. Well, now it's like you have 105 life. You got 5% extra fortify. So now you have extra health. Once you lose that 5 life, this goes down first. You can't heal this back up. You can only fortify this back up. This goes down and then this comes down later. So as you fill this up, let's say we fill it all the way up to 50%. We're at 50. 50% right here, fortify. So that's extra life, meaning that we can't heal this life as we lose it. We can only build it back up with our fortify. But also, if you take overpower is going to do your normal life damage plus your fortify life damage. And then it's going to multiply that by the overpower amount. So what is this? The MS Paint channel? It is. Hey, Prowl, sorry I'm late. Hey, Sammy. So fortify makes you do more damage with overpower on top of keeping you alive from big hits longer or from a big mob, like whatever. It keeps you alive longer. So that's how fortify works. And that's how overpower works with fortify. So it's very important. Okay. So if we're getting 5% base life fortify sometimes, but it's not going to be often. Lucky hit is a small percentage chance typically, and then you only have a 10% chance on a lucky hit. So that's not going to happen too often. What else do we have here? Poison creeper. Oh man. Wait, is this Minecraft? Immobilize, critical strike, chance poisoning. Don't care about that. Critical strike. Vulnerable. And we're not doing a vulnerable build. Okay, so we would take this, and this. That'd be water creeper. Stop it. Okay, so we take those. We are just going to throw some stats up here to get us to this next board. What is this board called? This is the nature magic board. No. This is just the something board. I don't know what board this is. Usually they have like a theme name or something. Wait, can I zoom this out? Will it all fit? No, it doesn't. Okay, so we have hurricane. Enemies who are damaged by hurricane are slowed. Vulnerable. Less damage. Boulder. Knockback. Wait, when Boulder reaches the end of its path, enemies hit are slowed by 30% for 3 seconds. If Boulder overpowered, enemies are stunned. So that's if it overpowers. There's no guarantee to overpower. While you have any fortify, Boulder has 20% increased critical strike chance. Okay. That's not a big deal, but it's okay. Rabies. Poison damage. Poison. Rabies spreads faster. It's kind of fun. Poisoning. Okay. Trample. Unstoppable. Knockback. Stun. Trample deals 150% damage. Casting Trample grants 20% base life as Fortify. There's another Fortify. What's your energy generator? Does Druid builds energy like the Barb, right? It starts with low energy and builds up. What builds it up? Is it like your attacks? Could somebody tell me? Because again, I don't know this with Druid. What's your energy builder? So wait, we have 1 skill, 2 skill, 3 skill, 4 skill, 5 skills. Basic skills? So just this? So you have to use this to boost your energy. Okay. There's nothing else here that, like, I haven't seen anything. It's like an extra energy booster. Okay. We'll throw a couple extra points in here, like just to get up to this. Okay, what's this? We have 1 more skill point that we can spend. We can either spend that on one of our ultimates, or not one more. We have 1 more slot, hotbar slot. So we can either get one of our ultimate abilities here, or we end up taking another one through here. Let's see what the ultimates are. This one has stunning and critical strike, knockback, become immune and quickly dash 10 times between enemies in the area, dealing up to 400% damage. Tire, werebear, damage reduction. You know, as I'm like looking through this, there's been nothing, like we can build up a lot of fortify, which makes our guy tanky, but there's nothing that's giving me like extra overpower hits, really. Like for my necro build, like there's a number of skills that are guaranteed to overpower. And I've seen nothing here that gives me a chance to guarantee overpower. I wonder if a vulnerable build wouldn't be better. All right, we're gonna rebuild. What? How do I? Can I just clear? Is there clear? Hold on. Let's do a vulnerable build real quick. Stun, immobilize, knockback. Oh, that had fortify too. Like having some fortify stuff is a good idea, I think. But like, if I don't have a way to like really take advantage of that with overpower to like a really big degree, it doesn't feel worth it to me. And I feel like I'd get more out of vulnerable. So like wind is vulnerable, right? Mobilize, vulnerable. Okay. Storm and wind. Let's try storm build. Electricity gathers, dealing 20% damage each time it strikes. You gain 25% damage reduction for 3 seconds after dealing damage. Okay, that's not bad. Storm strike has a 15% chance to immobilize. Okay. Has a 50% chance to make enemies vulnerable. So this will like start a chain of vulnerable. That doesn't sound bad. Okay, now we come down here. What else do we have? Conjure, growing, lightning storm, blah, 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 blah. Lightning damage. Immobilize. I want to have stuff that's going to constantly keep enemies vulnerable. Slowed. Enemies hit with tornadoes have a 10% chance to become vulnerable for 3 seconds. So that might be a ticket right there. Your next pulverize will overpower every 12 seconds while you remain healthy. See, that was the only thing that gave us extra overpower, and that didn't seem worth it. Perform a larger finish move. Attack speed and heals. Critical strike damage, poisoning. Crush enemies. Immobilize. Mobilize, stun, critical strike. Okay. What was it? This. Okay. What I like as playing Druid, at least for the short time I played, was my ability to get energy back and stay healthy whilst mowing enemies over quickly. Okay. I really wish I would have gotten to play the Druid some. And then let's get Storm Strike, change 2 additional targets. No vulnerable. Okay. So we have like 2 things that are going to help us build up vulnerable. What else do we got? And we probably want something that's like heavy hitting that we can use while enemies are vulnerable. 45%, unstoppable, barrier. This is very defensive, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Slowed. Enemies knocked back by cyclone armor become vulnerable for 3 seconds. Healing for 20%. 20 spirit. Oh, this is a generator. Generators aren't a bad idea. Because if you can generate, like if you're getting, okay, hold on. Bloodhound also generates 20 spirit. We can cast it every 15 seconds. We get a 20% heal. Kills reduce the cooldown of Bloodhound by 1 second. So anything I kill within that 15 seconds, I guess is what that means, will get me 1 second off of my Bloodhound. This one's werebear damage delivered by enemies. The debilitating roar also fortifies you for 22% base life. Slows enemies. Heals. Like, that's not bad. Knockback and slowed. So this is getting me, but enemies knocked back. So this will create vulnerable, but like I'm getting a 10% chance here. I'm getting a 50% chance there. And this is like striking multiple enemies, right? Like this seems like a good enough vulnerable generator, which means that maybe I want to generate more power. I'm gonna try this route as a power generator. I don't know how good of an idea that is. We're not at our ultimates yet. Summon 2 wolf companions that bite enemies. Oh yeah, this one, like the wolves were just like a decent idea, right? Poison, immobilize, critical strike, poison, critical strike. Additional ravens periodically attack. Enemies inside the swarm of ravens, when it is activated, become vulnerable. The swarm of ravens, which is what this... What's a swarm of ravens? The target area is swarmed with ravens, dealing 160% damage over 6 seconds. Yeah, like I'm so lost with the druid. That doesn't seem bad. These guys obviously will like tank for you. I'm gonna go this route. We're gonna like heavily lean into vulnerable. And that's a lot of damage, 160%. And this is our like healing. I almost like would rather have something that does fortify though. Debilitating roar also fortifies you for 22% base life. So you get a fortify, shapeshift into a werebear and bellow a mighty roar, reducing nearby enemies' damage dealt by 70%. Like this might be like I kind of need a get out of jail free card, and that might be it. Oh gosh, my headphones just turned off for some reason. Slows enemies. Okay, we're gonna use this as like a get out of jail free card. I feel like every class needs that. Like you need something that's just gonna get you out of trouble. Oh, I don't have the music on. Is that coming through to you guys? It's like very quiet for you. You guys literally picked the worst class for me to build. Like, how could you do so? Form a hurricane around you that deals 97% damage to surrounding enemies. Enemies who are damaged by hurricane. Hurricane has a 15% chance to make enemies vulnerable. I don't know that we need to stack any more vulnerable, do we? Unearth a large rolling boulder. Unless we like start to add stuff on, like we're probably gonna have stuff in Paragon, right? That makes it to where like vulnerable enemies like take more damage or something. That's the rabies one. Become unstoppable and charge forward, dealing 75% damage and knocking enemies back. Enemies who are knocked back into terrain take an additional 45% damage and are stunned. Trample deals 150% bonus damage. This bonus is reduced by 50% for each enemy hit after the first. Isn't right early game? Yeah. Casting Trample grants 20% base life is fortified. Like this may be a good one to go. Oh, Trample grants Spirit. There's another Spirit builder. But like what I'm thinking is like I need something that's going to take advantage of the vulnerables that I'm already causing. Like this is going to do a lot of damage and it'll give me a little bit of fortify at the same time if I go this route. And this could be like a decent like damage dealer for enemies that I've already gotten vulnerable on. I don't know, man. I'm really at a loss with this class. I probably should not have put this in y'all's hands. Anything in here I want to take? Or like, is there anything here that's not like super good? In case all nearby enemies in stone, stunning them, critical strike, massive storm, knockback, lightning strikes from cataclysm make enemies vulnerable for 2 seconds. For 10 seconds, gaining 20% bonus damage and 20% damage reduction. Damage bonus is increased by 3% each second while in this form. Kills extended duration. Oh, that doesn't sound that bad. You're unstoppable. This sounds really strong. That sounds incredibly strong. So we've basically taken like a werebear storm build. Is what we've done. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 skills. Druid is definitely hard mode. This I'm really just using for the vulnerable and the energy generation, spirit generation. So like if I remember right, like I should be able to max all of these. Oh, that one you don't have to. Oh, which probably means like I can actually max this and we'll steal points back from that if we need to. So now it's like passives. Maximum spirit increase. That's not usually that good. Here, let's start like your good stuff's usually like starting down here. Oh, we need to take our thing here. Storm skills that you cast grant 1 spirit and deal 15% increased damage when damaging a vulnerable, immobilized, or slowed enemy. And we're going to be doing that. Might be really good. Casting earth skill. We're not casting earth skills really. We're doing storm skills. That's like lucky hit. I don't like dealing with lucky hit. I'm a little afraid of it. After being a werewolf for 2.5 seconds, but we're not doing like, we're doing werebear. Why is this one werewolf and this one's werewolf? After being werebear for 2.5 seconds, deal I don't like that one either. Gain 20% additional maximum life while in werebear form. I like this one. So this is going to be a spirit generator for us. That's actually really good. Did we take any other spirit generators? I don't think we did. I think we forego doing that. Okay. We got a werebear storm. We got a storm bear build. That sounds fun. All right, what are our passives? Nature magic skills deal 4% increased damage to elites. Nature magic skills that consume spirit heal you. Earth skills deal increased damage to vulnerable enemies. Storm skills 4% increased damage to... Oh, man. That's not good. I need that to be the other way around. Nature magic skills deal 2% increased damage. Triple this bonus if an earth skill is the next skill. I don't like that either. Like, they have some like weird synergies going here. When a shape-shifting skill transforms you into a different form, it deals... I don't understand these either, really. Increase the amount of fortify you gain from all sources by 5%. Whenever you are stunned, immobilized, knocked down, fortify for 6%. Okay, that's not bad. 5% chance when struck to fortify you for 4% base life. That's not bad. Reduce the duration of control impairing effects by 3%. Like this and this seems good. These are very good defensive passives, I think. Poison enemies are slow. Poison enemies, critical strikes. Don't care about that. What is this down here? While in werebear form, you receive 5% additional healing from all sources. When you remain in werebear form for at least 30 seconds, your next skill will overpower. That's an overpower once every 30 seconds. That doesn't sound that good. Oh, wait. Doesn't... Oh, okay. It decreases 20 seconds. But that's like you're staying in a form. I don't understand Druid enough to know that. Earth skills. Oh, here we go. Your storm skills have up to a 10% chance to make enemies vulnerable for 1 second. Via lucky hit, increase the duration of hurricane and cataclysm. Wait. Cataclysm? What the hell is that? Do we have that? Tornado, storm strike. I don't have either one of those. Every 18 seconds, a lightning bolt hits. Oh, that sounds good. What's this? Lucky hit. Up to a 10% chance when dealing damage to a vulnerable, immobilized, stunned enemy. Lightning bolt also hits it. I don't know. Here, we're going to take this. That sounds good. This sounds good. Get efficiency 5. Papa Snuffy, stop it. What's this? Deal 3% increased damage to distant enemies. Double this bonus if they are also slow, stunned, immobilized, or knocked back. Gain 2 spirit when transforming into human form. Do we transform into human form every time we cast a spell? Is that how that works? Companion skills deal 10% bonus damage. And this is already doing 224%. Like, that's not bad. 13% damage every 5 seconds. 8% damage. Like, this doesn't sound bad. How many skill points do we have left? 6. We have 6. Increase your non-physical. You gain 5% damage reduction. What is this? Critical strike against close enemies. Movement speed. Damage reduction. What is this? Max spirit. Oh, we already looked at those. Core skills. 3% basic skills. 6% more spirit. I think we want to take this. Some of the skills turn you into a werewolf or werebear for a limited time. So you'd gain spirit when you revert. Oh, okay. I think I understand. All right, I got 3 skill points left. Max spirit is increased. That's not that good. Critical strike chance against close enemies. We're not doing a crit build. You gain 5% damage reduction for 6 seconds after using a defensive skill. Increase your non-physical damage resistance. It's 5 each time. Deal... Okay, that's distance enemies. 2 spirit when transforming to human form. That's not a lot of spirit if you're not going to be changing frequently. Hurricane and Cataclysm. What the hell is Cataclysm? Oh, it's this. We didn't take that. Lucky hit. Up to a 10% chance when dealing damage to a vulnerable immobilizers. The lightning bolt also hits. Okay, we're going to take this one. All right, we've used all of our skill points. Okay, here, I want to like, can we save this build? In case I like click away and lose it by accident. Storm Bear. Sure. Okay, is that still there? Okay, we're good. Paragon. Let's check out the Paragon board. Again, I don't know anything about like this Paragon board, so let's kind of like work on building this some together. Okay. Name it Prowl has no idea what to do with the druid. Here's my plan. I'm gonna go through. So I'm gonna start the game on launch with my necromancer, my bloodmancer, and I'm also gonna do season 1 with the bloodmancer. Now, if this channel's still doing good, we're growing based on the videos and the streams. Maybe actually have some like revenue incoming, which would be like blow my mind, amazing. I'm not expecting it to happen. Prowl's on the struggle bus. I'm not on the struggle bus. Then as I go through the seasons, season 2, season 3, season 4, season 5, I want to do each of the classes in each of the seasons. So I want to like by season 5, I want to have made a level 100 of each class. We'll see if I'm able to do that, because obviously you guys know I have to balance Minecraft. Now it's not to say that I won't do Diablo at all. If Diablo doesn't take off, it'll probably like fill in the like Fortnite time. Will I be playing enough to like really like compete max out? I don't know. I really don't know. We'll see. But I would like to. I really like the idea of this game a lot. You guys have seen I've been putting a lot of effort into the videos. If you haven't watched the videos yet, make sure you do. I've been really putting a lot of effort into them. I'm like really taking seriously wanting to grow this channel. So please help me out. Like, watch the videos, click the like button, drop a comment. I see a lot of names in here that haven't commented in the latest videos. Just go let the video play after stream if you haven't watched already, and just drop me a comment. TMO did. Where's TMO at? TMO did me right. It's Sammy did too. Sammy did too. But like, it's not a lot. That's like your donation. If you can't donate money, that's cool. That's fine. Donate a little bit of time to drop a comment and click the like button. Okay. All right. So here, let's build our board here. So I don't know. I need to know what are the druid's main stats? Diablo IV druid stats. Stat priority. We need to know what stats are important to the druid. Strength. So strength has no effect on the druid. Intelligence increases resource generation. Willpower increases skill damage and increases overpower damage. So willpower is pretty like fairly important. Dex increases critical strike chance. Oh, and then so that's offensively, I guess. Defensively, strength increases armor. Intelligence increases resistance. Willpower increases healing received. So like none of these stats are like incredibly like amazing to me except for intelligence. Getting resource generation higher, I guess, is good. Skill damage is good. I don't know why it says 1 strength equals 0.1% skill damage when we're talking about willpower. Increases overpower damage. We're not making an overpower build. We're not making a critical strike build. So we're gonna prioritize willpower and intelligence. Willpower and intelligence, and then Dex will be a tertiary stat. We'll probably main willpower, secondary intelligence. So willpower, intelligence, Dex. I don't know what their actual generation is as they level, and we're gonna go like no strength. Like we don't care about strength at all. Okay, willpower, Intelligence dex. Willpower, intelligence dex. Okay. Next thing I guess we need to do is like look at the boards. We're probably like... We'll pull that over to the side for now. Where's... Oh, Druid. I need to see what boards are important. Heightened Malice. While there are 3 or more poison... Nope, we don't care about poison enemies. Inner Beast. After shapeshifting, your spirit costs are reduced by 10%. Okay, so that's like a good general one. Let me just type a note over here. Inner Beast. And then more specifically, like what is in here? Shape-shifting skill damage. Shape-shifting skill damage. Druid definitely seems like the, hey, we need one more character for the game. Let's toss in a Druid character. I mean, Druid-like characters have been like a staple in Diablo for a while. Constructing Tendrils. Lucky hit. Nature magic skills have up to a 15% chance to entangle the enemy with vines. That doesn't sound very like crazy. Nature's magic skill damage sounds good though. Constricting Tendrils. Constricting Tendrils. Nature skill damage. Okay. What else do we have? Like an afterthought character? No, I think they're just meant to be like more of a variety character. Like you have these classes that fill a specific role, but the Druid can kind of like fill a few different roles. Like it has that necromancer type feel with the pets. It has that sorcerer type feel with the casting spells. It has that barbarian type feel with the melee damage. I think they're just meant to be more of like a hybrid style character. Instead of a, you fill this specific role and that's all you do. You know what I mean? Ancestral Guidance. I don't know what the heck this is. After spending 75 spirit, you deal 30% increased damage for 5 seconds. Okay. What's in here? Core skill damage. Core skill damage. This one's not bad. Ancestral Guidance. Ancestral Guidance. Core skill damage plus damage boost for using power. Okay. Lust for Carnage. Critical strikes with werewolf skills. Okay, see, we're not going werewolf, so this one might not matter at all. Werewolf skill. Okay. We have nothing werewolf. We don't care about that one. Survival instincts. While werebear form, we have a few werebears. You deal 1% increased damage, up to times 50% for every 1% difference in current life percent between you and the enemy. Okay, so I guess that's like when you're healthier than the enemy, is what that means. 5% damage while werebear, 10% damage while werebear. Okay. So that's what is this one called? Survival instincts. Survival instincts. Werebear damage. Also, like these ones can be nice. Like look how close this is to here. Like you can just go down and go over here. And then you can like go out this way. Earthen Devastation. Thunderstruck. We're not using earth magic. We are using thunder magic though. Thunderstruck! All right, who's singing AC/DC in your head right now? A lot of people are saying that the Druid's going to be extremely powerful in the late game. Storm skills deal 30% increased critical strike damage against vulnerable or immobilized enemies. Okay. And then what's in here? Storm skill damage increase. Okay. So this is Thunderstruck. Thunderstruck. nature damage plus damage to vulnerable plus crit damage to vulnerable. I believe they have some like balance stuff in the works for making druids a little bit more like viable in the early game. Okay. So see, this is the problem. We have 1, 2, 3, we have 5 boards, and I don't know if we can make it to 5 boards. So if I have to take one out, here's the document. If I have to take one out, which one is it? Nature skill damage. Oh wait, hold on. So this is storm damage, whereas this is nature damage. Which one was nature damage? Constricting tendrils. Or skill damage. Damage boost for using power. So I think if we end up cutting one, shape-shifting skill damage. Where's Inner Beast? So is that, I guess that's just like general, like whenever you shapeshift, you get that bonus. All right, this one, that one will be the one out. I'm just like dragging it down out of the way. Should stick with sorceress or not? Sorcerer is going to be the easier like class for sure. It's like, it's a safe bet. You know what you're getting with sorcerer. It's going to be a powerful class, and it, for the most part, it's not going to be that hard to be powerful. Okay, so like we've built this stuff. Now I need to see what glyphs there are. I like the way that they show glyphs on here a little bit better. So what glyphs benefit us? Potion healing, don't care about you. Bonus rare nodes, 10% damage reduction while you have an active barrier. We're not using barriers. 30% chance with shapeshift when shapeshifting to gain a barrier that absorbs 5% of your maximum life and damage for 4 seconds. I'm gonna mark it just because I'm gonna look at it again later in comparison to others. Damage reduction to close enemies. When an enemy is damaged by you, they become vulnerable for 3 seconds. This cannot happen more than once every 20 seconds per enemy. This is like a guaranteed vulnerable. For every 5... Okay, we already saw that one. Hold on. Undaunted. Gain up to 10% damage reduction the more fortify you have. We're not going with the fortify build. Dominate when you overpower. We're not doing an overpower build either. Fang and Claw. Werewolf or werebear form. Close enemies take 12% increased damage. That's a decent one. Let's mark that. A passive portion of companion skills deal... Oh, the passive 80% increased damage. That sounds pretty solid. Werebear. Gain 10% damage reduction while werebear form. I didn't care too much about that one. I don't care about the werewolf one. Human. You gain 10% damage. No. Bane. Poison. No. Keeper. You and your companions deal 10% increased non-physical damage. I mean, I'm doing a lot of non-physical damage, but I'm not doing all non-physical damage. Ooh, lightning. Wait, you deal 12% increased lightning damage to both healthy and injured enemies. So like the tail end and the head end of their health, but not the middle. I'm going to mark this one for now. Poison damage, no. Increased physical damage to non-elites and bosses. Is there one that allows you to do dirty deeds done dirt cheap? I think so. Critical strikes increase the damage an enemy takes from you by 2% for 20. Oh. Shapeshifting has a 20% chance to cause the skills damage. This sounds good. we could use some critical strike procking. Okay, so we've 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We really need to like narrow this down to 4. So which 2 can we get rid of? The barrier one. Let's get rid of that one. Enemies damaged by you. I like this one. While in werewolf or werebear form, close enemies take 20% increased damage from you. The passive portion of companion skills deals 80% increased damage. That does not sound bad. Lightning damage. Hold on. Skill tree. This is wind. This is lightning. No, we're not using a lightning skill except for our core skill. We're using a wind skill. So wait, we're using lightning for a core skill. That's not going to be a big damage dealer. We're using wind here, not lightning. Right? Yeah. Then we're a bear. These dudes do 13% passive damage, which is way better than like the wolves. 8%. The poison creeper is decent, but he attacks less often than this dude. Bear. We're like mostly bear. We're almost all bear, really. So, but anyways, what that means is if I go back to Paragon and we go back here, that means I don't need the lightning damage one. So there, we've narrowed it down to 4. And I thought building my special stats for Fallout 4 is complicated. This can be. It definitely can be. I don't know a lot about the class, so like I'm probably doing a little bit worse job of this than like somebody that's actually played a lot of Druid. And like somebody that like really knows Druid, we're probably looking at me and be like, what the hell is this guy doing? Like he has no clue. This guy's clueless. Okay. So like now that we've made a couple decisions, we know what boards we want and we know what glyphs we want, but what we don't know is what order we want the glyphs to go in the boards that we're going to take. I think I can select them now and then we can kind of like rearrange as we go. So we know main stats, willpower, second stats, dex, right? No, willpower, intelligence, dex. Okay, so we had our inner beast board. Oh wait, does this tell? Wait, hold on. Oh, it tells you what's available on the board. It's right here. So this is an intelligence board. Hold on. Wait, let me X this out. I didn't know it told us this. Okay, so hold on. So this one is a dex board. And we said willpower is going to be our main stat. So like if there's a willpower board, we want that one last. Dex is our third stat, so we'll want that one earlier. Constricting tendrils, survival instincts. Why is it not telling me what kind of board this one is? It's not telling me the points for that board. Thunderstruck is a willpower board. This will be our last board. Inner Beast. This is an int board. We don't know what kind. We don't know what this board has the most of. Does it say? It says it here. This is a willpower board. Okay. Oh well, hold on. No, we're not thinking about this right. We need to see. Hold on. I'm just gonna add them. I'm gonna add this one. I'm going to add one over here. I'm not going to care about the order of them or anything yet. I need to look at a couple things. Inner beast. Okay. This is what we need to worry about. When we get into the glyph area, I'm just going to insert random glyph. This takes intelligence. This takes dex. Intelligence and dex. 2 stats that I can get pretty easy. Oh no, dex is not super easy. That's just armor. I don't care as much about that. Okay. This glyph socket. Dexterity. Intelligence. And intelligence is on the armor. Dexterity is on the attack. We care about the attack a lot more than the defensive. At least I do when I look at these. All right, let's put a glyph in this one. Our offensive is intelligence. And let's look at, oops. Where did, oh, here it is. This one. Our offensive is dex. So willpower, like, did none of these have willpower? Oh, that is so dumb. That's really stupid. Intelligence, dex, they're all like intelligence dex. All of them are intelligence dex. We know we're going to get more intelligence than dex, so we'll take our dexterity boards earlier. Our offensive, our boards that have offensive dexterity earlier. So like this one's a good one to take first. Willpower. Wait. Then we'll take this one second. Okay. So we're building up this board. We need to get over here, obviously. So we need to turn the board. And then, like, if we wanted to in and out, it's quick in and out right here, right? So let's build up to this real quick. I'm not gonna be able to go too much longer because I know the wife wants to come get into bed. Okay, so we chart up. 4% life, 10% damage, and 4% life. Ooh, I like this. Okay, so we're gonna go this way. Willpower. But I know we need intel. Like, we're not requiring a lot of willpower on stuff, so I'm gonna focus on intelligence and dex as we go. Willpower, willpower. I don't have a choice there. Willpower, intelligence. We don't care about strength. Dex, willpower. We don't care about strength at all. And then, oh, we need an extra glyph. We need 5 glyphs. We need a 5th glyph. We need like a crap one for this board. Damage reduction, 30% chance, shape shifting. Damage reduction. Damage reduction. Overpower. Nature magic skills. Have 10% increased damage to crowd controlled or vulnerable enemies. Oh, that's a good one. We'll take that one. Oh, this one gives bonus to magic nodes though. We want to take that one later. Which one just gives okay, for every 5 dex. Okay, so we'll take this. For every 5 intelligence. So now we need 25 dex. And dex is what? Dex is this little sword one. So go here. Oh, okay, this side has decks. Here, here, here. What is this? Resistance to all elements. Where's that one's damage? I mean, I guess we'll have to go this route. It's not gonna be that big of a deal. Okay. So that's we need 3. 1, 1, 2, 3. Yep, that gets us in and out. We're done. We're out. And that connects us to this board, which allows us to put a glyph here. And I think here, let me go ahead and save the build here. Because I think I'm out of time. So my wife's making fun of me. You guys can all blame Mrs. Prowl. It's okay. So we'll pick up on this, I think, but I'm hoping that what we did here kind of helped with like the process. And now what we can do in future streams is we can perfect the process and like actually like do some good builds, right? So you kind of saw how I went through things to figure out what's going to go where, what order I take things in, and like how you cohesively make a build. Put her on camera. Yeah, right. She ain't gonna do that. So now you know, like, okay, I need to like pick these skills that I like. Now I need to do a Paragon board that fits all that. You're gonna do the same thing with this too, gears and skills, right? You're gonna go in here and you're gonna pick legendary aspects that fit well with the build that you're trying to do or complement it in some way. Tell her hi. Stream says hi. And I think we'll do another one of these streams here pretty soon. I might keep them to night times and like try to keep like my productive stuff during the day where I'm like recording videos and stuff. And like Minecraft streams and that kind of stuff. We might do a Minecraft stream tomorrow, or I might like record a Minecraft video tomorrow morning. I don't know. But in any event, guys, I appreciate y'all hanging out. It's been super fun. Let me know in the Discord channel if you got something out of this. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them there. And I will see you guys tomorrow doing something. Bye.